Okay, everybody, so today's video is just going to go over this one page, page 45, which is equations of lines in the coordinate plane. And we'll do the examples and stuff on in class. Okay, so equations and lines of the coordinate plane is actually something you've seen before and something that was super stressed out in Algebra 1. All right. Um, Really, what we're talking about when we're looking at this stuff, it doesn't really say anything, but when we're talking about stuff in the coordinate plane, we're talking about stuff like y is equal to mx plus b, um, slope intercept form, slope whatever, a slope, right? So we are going to have slope intercept form. It's going to be the first one we talk about, slope intercept form, and this is the one that you guys actually recognize all the time. We'll talk about it, right? We also have point slope form, which doesn't get talked about as much, but this one's much easier than like these other two. And this last one we don't really touch on it a lot, but it's good to know and kind of talk about and have to recognize is standard form. Okay, so I know you guys have talked about these in Algebra 1. You guys have went through these. It's a huge, huge area of contention. It's a huge thing for it. All right, but they all have slope. Okay, so off to the side you have some room. Let's actually write what slope is again if you haven't seen it for a while. So slope, remember the variable for it is your m, which is the same. So to find slope, remember it's the same as saying rise over run, which really means um, delta y over delta x. I know you've seen this before, we've talked about it. But really the equation that we're going to use and it's going to be like super helpful for us is actually y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay. Um, so yes, rise over run, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? So something to look out for, something we need. Okay, let's actually talk about the forms. Let's talk about the actual equations. So slope intercept form. The equation itself is, like I said, y is equal to mx plus b, where x and y are coordinates. Right, these are your answers. These are what you plug in. This is what you need to do. Slope is your m. Right, so this is our right. Whatever your slope is, whenever we come across stuff, when it asks for your slope, it tells you your m. That's what you plug in. It's the number in front of x. All right, and then also b, which is our y-intercept. Okay, we'll talk about y-intercept in a little bit and how it's helpful. All right. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what we're looking at, right? So y is equal to mx plus b. Y-intercept. Remember, um, this really is where it crosses the y-axis. All right, that point where it hits that y-axis, and then we can kind of go through an example about it and talk about it. All right, that's something to remember. Okay, point slope form. This one's actually the easier one. It looks super complicated, but it's this one's amazing. This one's amazingly easy once you actually kind of see it and kind of go through it. All right, let's take a look at it. So point slope form. Okay, we're still using like these y's and x's and m's. This one though looks like y minus y1 is equal to m parentheses x minus x1. All right. So here's a few things about it, right? Point slope form, it's exactly what it sounds like. You get a point, you get a slope, you plug it in. So in this case, right, slope stays the same, slope is consistent. Right, x and y are still coordinates. M though is your slope. 4. But then you have y1, x1, x1, y1. These are a given point. All right, x1 and y1, these are a given point. Okay. So you'll see it when we get to it. It's pretty helpful, right? The fact that this is a given point. I do want to highlight, like literally highlight, the fact that we have these negatives in here. So watch out for this. Because those negatives are there, this will change the sign of x1 and y1. All right, so something to watch out for. And again, we'll get to it when we explain it when I have a chance to. But if there's a negative in front, it's going to change the sign of your x1 and your y1. Okay. Okay. And lastly, a standard form. We don't really look at this one much, but like you've talked about it, you've seen it before. This one looks a little bit different. It's where all the variables on one side, right? In this case, like a y is on this side, or x is on the right, left. I mean the right. Y is on the left, x is on the right. So in this case, though, we have our x and our y next to each other, but it's ax plus by is equal to c. Okay. We don't really use this one much, but again, it's just something to kind of know. To find the slope, there's no m in this case though. It's the way you kind of do it. It's negative a divided by b. Whereas to find your y-intercept, you actually do c divided by b. Okay, and we might see one like this, but we don't really look into it. All right. So these are our three different types of forms we're going to be using at, right? Really, we're going to be looking at these two, right? Slope-intercept form and point slope. I promise you, this one's the best one. This one's the easiest one. We'll get there. All right. Yeah, make sure you get this down. That's it.